Finally, Link. You really did come back. Glad to see it. Well then, let's have some fun. Or maybe a hero such as yourself has no time for playing around. Well, what I offer is more than mere child's play. I would have you face challenges that draw upon the many hardships you've experienced thus far. Look to the past to understand the future, that's what I say. And I think you'll find you have much to gain by revisiting your past. I screwed that up, but who cares? I am game. You're a true hero, that's the spirit. Why did we just evolve into this? Oh, Gato died here. This is post-commentary. We'll explain why in a bit. Come on. Then, if you would permit me, I'll take a peek at your past experiences. Yeah, we're gonna have to... It's okay, this only happens like one other time, and I cut most of that out, so... Indeed, you have done some amazing things, like battling fierce foes and overcoming the daunting trials in the Silent Realm. Alright then. Based on those experiences, you can choose one of two exciting challenges. Which one would you like? Pick whichever. Yeah. I'm gonna skip here. Skip? There it is. Okay. Got the battle. That was the other time Elgato died. It dies one more time, but don't worry. Because you chose battle, I will select from only the toughest opponents, aka bosses, you've ever faced. Fight them! You're being a good sport, so I'll reward you. Do well enough and I might give you something truly special, an absurdly sturdy shield. That's why we are doing this. Oh, but if you lose, well, let's just say this isn't just a game. Think this is a game? If you lose, it's all over. You still interested? Hell yeah. Spoken like a warrior. I dig it. Alright then. Which period of your journey would you like to face an enemy from? The beginning. I choose the beginning. I sit here and I think about it. I'm like, oh, let's just the beginning. Take the easy bosses. Tantalus. From the beginning of your journey. In that case, let's see here. Here we go. These guys look pretty tough. He's acting like he's got little playing cards of them or something like that. It's like, oh, choose this guy. Yeah, there's no way I wanted to do the imprisoned. Moldarak. This creepy crawlers. I forgot to tell you something. The only items you can use in battle are items you would have had at the time. Yep, that is it. But you can still have all the heart pieces you can carry. I know, sounds really hard. You get no items except the shield. You can only have your shield and your B items. You all set? You've got a shield and everything. If you're ready. I guess he asks if you have a shield on in case you need a second to actually equip it. Moldarak. I actually chose Moldarak because Moldarak's very fun. I like this fight. The powered up Master Sword, the extra attack boost that it has is actually really noticeable. Like, it still makes you go through a couple, like, the set amount of rotations per boss or whatever, like the 3 rotations or phases or whatever they have. But it really, you'll see it when we fight Skaldara that I got bodied. Oh, almost. There's one I just get like rope-a-doped or something. Like, she makes one eye. It's not this one. Like, one eye goes red, and then I miss it, and the other eye goes red, and then I miss that. Oh, there it was. I was wrong on the redness, but I got nabbed. Yeah, I really like Moldarak. And I didn't want to fight the imprisoned. I just can't stand that fight. Okay, so a couple things. Oh, Elgato died here. Oh no, it didn't. JK. Every time I pause, I feel like Elgato dies. It does it once or twice more. It's like really short. It does it one more time in this fight. I don't know exactly when it is. Yeah, so alright. Let's cover the basics first. Oops, I just punched the headset. I don't know what I was thinking when I said I would do daily videos. That's actually gonna be kinda hard. So we'll see what happens. It'll be hard because of just my schedule over the next couple days. Oh, this is Elgato. No? Maybe it was, I don't know. Yeah, I should have said that I was going to start making videos next week. And then that way I could have recorded a couple like over the weekend and edited. That way it would have been ready. But, okay, Elgato died here. That's why I got punched. In no way, shape, or form was it because I was bad. Yeah, so... I really need a new mic. I'm just watching it pop in Audacity. I'm going to cut as many of them out as I can. Yeah, so... What'd you call it? So, the one-a-day video thing, I'm actually... It's gonna be fun. But I want to make sure that I can do something for all the fantastic people on this channel who have kind of stuck around in the times where I go like 9 days without making any videos. And a lot of people like Skyward Sword, so... Or a lot of people out of my contingency. Do you call it contingency? My contingent? Your like your fan base. Like there's a C word for it. Oh well. Yeah, and then after this he starts randomly picking what bosses you get to fight, and then he makes you kind of run the gauntlet. So it's gonna be annoying. Alright, so yeah, the daily video thing is just I'm really trying to push as many videos out as I can between now and the next semester, because when school starts up for me in August, it is July 24th, so this video is going to go up the same day I record it. Hopefully, it might get up at midnight, but if I get it up on July 24th, I don't care. So, yeah, it will... What you call it? Yeah, during the semester that's coming up, I will, at best, do like 4 videos a week. I'm really gonna try and do more than that, but it's honestly... Oh, Elgato died here too. That's why Gearham just walks up and just slaps me. It's like, you going to fight me, Link? You peasant bitch. Yeah, I get whooped on this fight. I suck. I suck at Gearham. It was a nice refresher before we undoubtedly fight him again. So he's still cool, even though he whoops my ass. The damage bonus really matters here too. Like when he gets to the not hand part, and you actually just fight him, he goes down pretty quick. I've never seen... I don't know if he took the sword before. He's kind of... Well, no, he did take my sword before, because I've read that. And jump in time. I was like, oh, I have to pick up the sword? Where is it? Gearham makes me look so terrible at this game. Not that I don't do that myself already, but he really punks me in this fight. The time trial thing is, I guess, for the player. It's not really... There's really no impact that I'm noticing. It's just, if you beat the fight, then you're good. Alright, so... This challenge is pretty... You guys probably heard my chair there. But, yeah, this... So, we're doing this because people... Oh no, let me go back first. So, the daily videos thing is because I have some very awesome people that are subbed to this channel, and you guys stick through me with a bunch of garbage. So, the daily video thing is I'm really gonna try and do my best to make up for what like the lack of videos, especially Skyward Sword. This game, like I've said before, I like this game. This game, I should have finished this a long time ago. I have never drug ass more on a Let's Play than this one. It's kind of long too. This one's gonna end up being, I want to say like around 90. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so that's kind of why that's happening. Alright, now why are we in Lanayru Desert fighting old bosses? So I got a few comments, a couple, I think 2, maybe 3 people tipped me off. It's the usual Zelda LP comment suspect, so if you guys go back, you can just, like, you go to the last video, you'll see people talking about it. So, I don't remember being this terrible at this fight. I don't know what I was doing. I was not in the right state of mind. Yeah, so oh, damn, he really ran me down for that. Bastard. I do remember I used to punish the teleports. Like, when he would pop up behind me, I would swing and tag him and stuff like that. So I fought, yeah, like I fought Gear him twice. This fight that you're seeing right now, the last time I fought him here was probably last, I want to say January or February. I want to say January, honestly. January 2014. And it is July 2015. So, you know, it's been a while since I've seen Gear. And you do fight him one more time. I don't remember the exact date on that, like the month or the time frame, but yeah. The trouble I was having in this fight wasn't really, I mean, I want to say I don't want to say dodging, but like it's clear that I'm not dodging correctly. But I wasn't punishing when I was supposed to, as in like hitting him when he gave me openings. Like I was playing too defensive, that's why he keeps charging me. And so like here you can even see it, I'm trying to change it up. I'm trying to like walk in on him. So I'm trying to get him to, you know, give me something to actually hit on. And now I'm trying to punch the teleports. So this is when I start changing up my game plan. Yeah, so we're here because people were telling me you get a secret Hylian shield. Damn, I really thought I got it right on. You get a secret Hylian shield for beating him, or not beating him, but like doing these Thunder Dragon challenges. And so we're here trying to get that shield. I'm gonna be very honest right now with this. I don't get it in this episode, and I've not recorded past this. If I try again, because I do not enjoy this, I honestly don't. Like, I do like this game. I was a little sad that you have to go back and just kind of revisit areas repeatedly. Because the world already feels really small in this game, and then they make you go back to the same spots over and over. And yeah, you can be like, well, they do that in every Zelda game, but it's like, yeah, either the areas... I was so mad that I had to fight the Imprison. I was genuinely bothered that this had to happen. Thankfully, it was the easiest one. I just don't want to fight the third one, where you have to use Bruce. That's the only one I don't want to fight of him. The other two are cake. The one where you have to do it with Bruce is it's just, I suck at that fight. It took me like 4 tries. So I don't want to see that one again. Yeah, so if I try this again, I'm gonna record, I'm gonna let the camera roll, obviously, and I might speed up and do post-commentary or something like that, but I don't plan to sit there and make you guys watch me fight old bosses again. Pretty much, most of these bosses, I can't say most, but like, you fight the Imprison multiple times, you fight Girahim twice, I think, you fight... I mean, Moldarak is a boss and then becomes a mini-boss somewhere else, so like, you see Moldarak a couple times. Like, I doubt they'll make you do... Like, if you have to fight Tantalus, I doubt they make you do the ship part. They probably just make you fight... I want to say Tantalus is a her, I could be wrong. But I really think they probably just make you fight Tantalus, like, outside the ship, you know, after you go through the whole thing. But yeah, I don't... as a viewer, I don't think it's good to watch old bosses again. Like, I would actually be kind of irritated. But you guys might not be, we'll see. So, my initial plan is to just record it and then, like, fast forward it and talk over it or something like that. Or just cut it entirely, because it's old content. It's stuff you guys have seen. Most of you have played this, most of you have beaten this, most of you have watched another Let's Play of this. So it's not something you're a stranger to. So that's why I'm not super worried about it. Where's my actual time on this? I should look. Oh man, I can't see my time. Okay, it's 39 minutes. Okay. I'm doing the commentary over the video preview in Vegas, which is normally how I do these. And the commentary in this episode was honestly terrible. For one, I was tired. This is still the same day, but like I've had time to recover and chill out and stuff like that. But you know, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I've been very busy. I should have pushed this until tomorrow, but it's all good. And like, it showed that I didn't enjoy this. It's still kind of showing now because I'm still talking about it, but oh, what the heck? This was another Elgato death. Alright, that should fix it. That took a sec. Yeah, so that was kind of the best I could do, because I really didn't... Like, the game feels small, so it's like you have to go to the same area a bunch of times, and then you have to fight a couple of the same bosses repeatedly. It's just not... It's not really enjoyable. So that's why I'm not super wild about this. Plus you get a shield, which is cool. Like the Hylian shield, you know, you get it in the other games and stuff like that, so it's cool from that angle. You know, it's like, oh my god, nostalgia, references, you know, timeline linkage. But also at the same time, it's like, I don't use my shield. Like, there's been a couple times where I've used it to reflect. I never block with it intentionally. I think I did it once or twice at the start of the series, just to see how effective blocking was, and I don't like how blocking works because those are my knuckles. But yeah, I don't like how blocking works in this game. I like it in the other games because it's just like one button, you hit a button, and this one you have to, like, you know, you have to flick the nunchuck and then you have to alternate. Like, you flick it and then it holds it, you know, you can't just like push it forward and stuff, so because you can't tell if you're doing that. So it's like blocking isn't cool. Maybe it's good, but I don't know. It's not for me. It's easier just to dodge. Dodging is better defense in this game. So I'm not super worried about getting a shield that I'm not going to use, even though it's got the lore perspective. So that's why I'm kind of undecided. I'm really iffy on this area. This is a lot of work for something I'm not really going to use, but it's going to look cool as hell, so I still kind of want it. So I'm still going to try and get it. It'll definitely be easier to get if I don't have to commentate at the same time. It took me a sec to remember how to fight Skaldara. So, I actually didn't remember Skaldara's name until we got here. So, you know, forgetting a lot of stuff. Pretty sure I fought this thing in February. Like, of 2014, I remember those episodes. Because I think it was when I first got my Elgato, was like for these couple episodes. You can tell because it goes from, the videos go from 480p to 720. Because Elgato records in 720, you can tell specifically what to do. Well, actually, it only has HDMI ports, that's why I decided to buy an HDMI converter for my Wii U, which I didn't know they made. I had to have it shipped from fucking China or something. I'm pretty sure it was China. And I run a HDMI cable through it. So it's cool. I like it. Yeah, so what have I been doing in the meantime? I took my pre-calculus class, which is really rough. It was pretty hard to take a 5-unit math class over the summer. That was really rough. I just took one more hit. That was pretty funny. Like this was when I really noticed how much stronger the sword has gotten. Because I didn't have to like hit him 6 times or whatever. It also shows that they have like an actual HP value, not just like, oh, you have to hit them so many times. You know, there's an actual HP system. It's probably really simple, but it is there. And we do quit here to get the piece of heart. So you guys are probably, you probably figured that out. It's like, well, he's talking about not doing the eight bosses yet, because apparently you're supposed to kill 8 to get the shield. And it's like, well, you know, he hasn't done the 8 yet, so what happens here? It's like, well, I get the piece of heart, and then I dip out. And I go look for other stuff. I look for goddess cubes. And because there are 2 around here that I missed, and we do get them this episode. And then we start working towards something else, but we're going to run out of time. So those are some spoilers if you guys want to just hang tight. And I did, a little bit ago I said the video's 39 minutes. I just cut about a minute out of it, so we'll see what we're at. But in the meantime, I've been pretty busy. My math class was really intensive. I think I got a C, which actually angers me, because I usually do pretty good in math. I've gotten A's in about every math class I've taken in my community college, except for one, because it was at 8 in the morning, and I still worked my previous job before the one I have now, where, you know, like I was assistant supervisor, and you know, I was working almost 30 hours a week on top of 2 or 3 classes. I can't remember how many it was. I think it was 2 classes, but still, it was a loaded schedule. And so, let's see. Oh yeah, so I'm pretty sure I got to C my pre-calculus class. It's really bothersome, because pre-calculus is just a review of algebra and trigonometry. And I've taken both of those. I got an A in both those, and I was talking about that before. But my teacher is very, very unfair in grading. Like, if you don't carry a negative correctly, you get half credit. So it's like the first mistake you make, you lose half the points. And if you make 2 mistakes, you get nothing. If your answer isn't 100% correct, you get half credit. If, like, one of my answers, I was doing a logarithmic inequality, and I forgot that logarithms can't be taken of negative numbers, and there was more than one logarithm in the problem, so I didn't check each of them, so I made a mistake. It was like, one of them was logarithm of something x minus 3, and x had to be greater than 3, and that's where I made a mistake. And the whole thing was an inequality of a couple logarithms. You go through the whole thing, and then I get to the end, and I'm like, I had -1 as one of my answers, because it was like x is between 4 and -1, or -1, 4, or whatever you want to look at it. And I was like, wait a minute, you can't have a negative, so I was like, okay, it's between 0 and 4. But then I didn't check the other one, among other, you know, stuff, and I missed, oh my god. I just got a text. Answer this in a minute. So, yeah, like I made that mistake, and I got half credit. And the reason I'm complaining about it is because the problems that teacher would give us, like, you would get a quiz, a 5-problem quiz. You'd have a half hour to do it, to do 5 problems, because like each problem was supposed to average 6 minutes. And we still, like, a lot of us ran out of time still. Like, it was just, some of the problems took for fucking ever to do. And there was one quiz that he just kind of let us keep going. We took an hour to do it, and none of us, like, we took an hour to do it, and then finally he stopped us. He said, you guys have been doing this for an hour, so you need to stop. And that quiz was still kind of easy, except for one problem. There was one problem I couldn't do because I didn't study a formula and I was really irritated. I hate missing math problems because I don't study formulas. That really bothers me. Because it's just, it's something simple that you shouldn't, it's something simple that you shouldn't really miss. Like you should know formula, like certain formulas you should know. And especially if you're allowed to use notes, you should have them, you know, so it's really, I was kind of bothered by that. But the other one I couldn't do was a trigonometry proof, where if you take geometry, you kind of know what a proof is. A proof is kind of like, it's sort of like an equation. All the math teachers go, it's not an equation. There's equal signs, but it's not an equation. It's like, well, you're saying this equals that, and that is an equation. An equation is when you're saying this equals that. And a proof is when you're trying to prove that. An equation, I feel like you do the same thing. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who disagree with me, but that's just how I feel about it. And the trig proof that he put on this quiz is where every single person got stuck. No one, 100% of the students could not do this proof. It was too much for the skill level that we were at. And like in class, we always talked about sine and cosine proofs, and those are pretty straightforward. There's usually a couple tricks you have to do, just depending on what it is, obviously, but for the most part, you can kind of the steps are intuitive. And we didn't spend a lot of time on tangent proofs and secant proofs, and cosecant proofs are just kind of like, you know, sine and cosine proofs. And so, and you could say the tangent ones are like that too, but this one was like some mess, like two big tangent, cotangent fractions or whatever were equal to cotangent, like, you know, theta, you know, just variable angle, cotangent theta plus tangent theta plus 1. And none of us could do this. And I say that because no one turned in a test except for one person, and she turned it in and still got it wrong. Like, she turned in a test before all of us. The rest of us had our test for the rest of, like, the entire quiz period. No one could do this fucking thing. And after we were done, our teacher was like, oh, well, he's old Russian math, so I was like, oh, do we need to solve? So yes, let's solve these. Let's go through these, let's talk about these. And when it came to the proof, as a math teacher, as a very old math teacher who's been studying, you know, he's well-versed, he's very intelligent, very good at math, he's done computer science, he used to be a programmer, stuff like that. He's very smart. This proof took him over 5 minutes to do, and it took him 3 different tries. Like, he would work something, he would get stuck, he would go, okay, this doesn't work, and then he would go back, he tried it again, didn't work, went back, tried it again, and then he kind of got to the end. But then he got like the wrong, like he got to a point where it was incorrect still. He had a bunch of negatives instead of positives. And he's like, oh, I must have missed a negative somewhere. And then he went back, he found his negative, and he changed it. And it was something crazy. Like, the fractions you eliminated, or you had common denominators, which is, you know, that part's easy, that's intuitive, that's the part that I tried to do first. But then you have to do like 2 other things, and then you have to like cube the tangent. Like, you have to do something with like tangent, you have to multiply by tangent cubed or something like that. And it was just, it was somewhere that I was not thinking, and it was somewhere that no one else was thinking. And so no one got this problem right. 100% of people failed this problem. And I was irritated. That's why I don't like him as a teacher. For one, I don't feel like I learned anything when I sat in his class. Like, I would sit there for 3 hours of lecture, and even though I knew all this stuff before, because I'd taken both classes, like, he would talk, and I'd be like, okay, well, I already know this, kinda. You know, like, you kind of forget stuff here and there, but I was like, okay, I know what's happening here, but then he'd try and teach you a different way to do it. He was very specific. He was like, he wanted you to do every problem his way. He had a very different way of approaching problems and presenting problems and stuff like that. It was really irritating. And I didn't feel like I learned anything sitting in his class, and that actually bothered me. But yeah, with this trig proof, he, it took him so long to do it, and he's kind of an asshole about it. He said, because everyone started laughing in the class, not like in a mocking way. We were just kind of laughing watching him mess up, because like, okay, this is hard as shit. This is really fucking hard, because none of us can do it, and you can't do it either, so this is actually pretty funny. Like, knowing that everyone is human is watching your math teacher not able to do math sometimes. Like, that's the kind of stuff where you go, okay, it's okay. We're all that happens to all of us at some point. Yeah. So, oh man, my headset's going berserk. It's pissing me off. Yeah. So he did this proof. You know, he got it done, and then afterwards he said, he was like, yeah. So I know that took me a while, but you guys had an hour, so I expect all of you to have gotten it right. I wanted to say fuck you, because that's just messed up. So, and of course everyone got it marked wrong when we got the quiz back, and I was like, this is so much bullshit right now. But you could tell he's a nice guy when you do talk to him, but most of the time he's really condescending. And I've got a couple stories about that. He's actually, he kind of, I don't want to say he insulted me, but I know he didn't really like me because the way I talked about solving problems whenever I would try and answer questions, he didn't like almost any answer I gave him. There was this one time I was explaining exponents to him, or like how I solve exponents, and he, I guess I'll talk about this, and hopefully you guys can, hopefully it makes sense to you guys. It might not. You know what? No, we're gonna wait on that. But like I'll do it in the next episode when I actually have time to edit in, because I want to put like the numbers up on the screen and stuff too to show you guys kind of what I'm talking about. So hopefully the image is helpful. Yeah, I explain how like I interpret exponents and how I solve them, and he had me explain it twice and then said that's not logical, and then just kind of went about his business, and I was really irritated because with the exponents thing, the reason I understood exponents is because a really great math teacher that I took, he's my favorite math teacher ever, I'm going to take him for calculus too. I'm actually excited. And the way he explains so many things to me, exponents included, are the reason I understand them. He's very logical. And I was like, well, for you to say that my approach isn't logical when the reason I understood it is because someone taught it to me and I felt it was logical, that's pretty upsetting. But his way wasn't that much better. So, I don't know. But anyway, I'm trying to get to the skipper's place at this point, because I remember the ceiling had the grate on it, and I think we can pull it off or something, because there's something up there, and I want to see if we can pull it off or not. So, I don't get there in the episode, so there's your spoiler. But yeah, otherwise, oh man, we're almost at the end. I see it creeping up. Yeah, so yeah, math really whooped my ass this semester. Like, last week, the whole last week, the last week before my final, I would just come home and I would do between 6 to 12 hours of math per day. I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. I would wake up in the morning, I would open my online assignments with my online textbook, and I would go through homework problems, and then I would read sections in the book. And I kept doing that over and over. Like, you know, for like as many things as I could. Just to prepare for this final, because with how harsh he is in grading, like, I got A's on all the online assignments except for 2 of the tests. I should have got an A on one. Okay, there are 4 online tests. I got 2 A's, one B, and 1 C. The B should have been an A because the stupid online program that we used rejected. It was WebAssign. WebAssign is complete garbage. And WebAssign rejected one of my answers, and I wrote it 2 different ways, and I made sure to very carefully type it in, obviously, and it still just marked it wrong twice. And I know that that answer was correct. I wrote it down somewhere too to email my teacher about it. We'll see if I need to or not. But yeah, there was that. And then and if I had got that question right, I would have had an A on that test. I would have had like a 91. And on the second one, I had a 78, and I would have had an 83. I would have had an 83% if, again, same thing. the question was very simple. It was a very simple trick question. What is the I say it's simple and I can't remember what the question was. It's something easy. It was like, what is... It had something to do with cosine of 165. And it was like... It was a double angle. Because you had to use the double angle formula or whatever. And you came out to... The answer came out to like... negative square root of 6 minus 2... Or minus square root of 2 divided by 4. And... if you ever take trigonometry... Those problems or whatever, those are very basic. Like, those are the first couple things they show you when you get to that part. So it's like, those answers are normal. I've answered that question a couple times already. And then there's this online program called Mathway where you can just punch in math problems and they spit out answers for you, and it goes up to like calculus, which is pretty cool. And I did the same thing. I asked it cosine of 165 degrees. It gave me the exact same answer that I put in. And I was like, okay, and WebAssign rejected it in 2 different ways. Like, I kept the negatives in the right place, you know, and everything was correct, and there's no weird mistypes or whatever. So I was like, alright, this is dumb. It's just, screw you, WebAssign. So, yeah, we got more stories on that. I'm sorry that this episode is kind of rushed. It's going to seem rushed, because it's not going to be... Right here, I was looking at how to get to this chest. I thought there was going to be like a claw shot spot, and I couldn't find one. Yeah, so I'm getting kind of tired, but I'm going to record tomorrow. I should, like I said, I should have a lot of sleep tomorrow. I have to go coach my Little League game. I'm going to go see my girlfriend for a little bit. I'm going to come home, and I'm going to do an episode. I'm going to try and do like 1 episode a day, maybe 2. Because if I do 2, then I don't have to record the next day, but it's like if I consistently record, it's going to be easier. But also, Elgato is being a complete temperamental little a-hole, so I'm not happy with that. So... yeah, so I'm sorry for the delay. The videos are coming. This one's gonna be kind of sloppy. You guys might not notice a difference. We'll see, but there are things that I normally like to that I wasn't able to do, and this is because I'm putting the 1 day or 1 a day time or condition on myself. So we'll see if we can get it done. But anyway, that's our episode for today. I spend a couple seconds wrapping this up normally before I cut all the audio, but yeah, next time Skipper's Place, maybe Goddess Cubes, and maybe Hylian Shield. We'll see what happens, and maybe Gratitude Crystals, I don't know, but look forward to that, and I will see you guys later.